चलेगा जग से नाता सदा सदा सो जाएगा एक दिन ऐसा आएगा एक दिन ऐसा आएगा.
A very good evening to each and every one of you who locked into the Ken Rampersaud show this afternoon. It's a special day today and it's a sad day. We lost one of our member of our community, Miss Seeta Panday. So the first hour we will dedicate this show towards her. So many people dying in our community.
जिनको तू अपना कहता है ये ना तेरे अपने हैं पूरा ही है जीवन पथ का ये सब सारे सपने हैं टूटेगा जब सपना तेरा सब अपना खो जाएगा एक दिन ऐसा आएगा एक दिन
A dark cloud over our community. So many of our family members dying.
जब से जग को अपना समझा जब से रब को भूल गया जन्मों से तू आता रहा हर भाई दर्द में भूल गया अब भी वक्त है सुन ले बंदे बाद में तो पछताएगा एक दिन ऐसा आएगा एक दिन ऐसा आएगा एक दिन ऐसा आएगा एक दिन ऐसा आएगा. बचपन तेरा बीत गया और जाती तेरी जवानी है ये जीवन तो कल कल बहता एक नदियाँ का.
Seeta Panday, a beautiful soul out of Guyana.
थाम ले वरना बीज भंवर डूब जाएगा एक दिन.
A tough day today for all of us who know her.
ऐसा आएगा एक दिन ऐसा आएगा एक दिन ऐसा आएगा. नहीं जाएगा लक 84 जिसने गुरु को पाया है बड़ भागी है गुरु संग जिसने जीवन सफल बनाया है. गुरु चरणों से प्रीति कर ले अंत गुरु में समाएगा एक दिन ऐसा आएगा एक दिन ऐसा आएगा एक दिन ऐसा आएगा.
A pleasant good afternoon, guys, and please listen. Share the program today. A special program today in the memory of Seeta Panday.
सदा सदा सो जाएगा एक दिन ऐसा आएगा एक दिन ऐसा आएगा एक दिन ऐसा आएगा एक दिन ऐसा आएगा. धन दौलत और रिश्ते नाते सब पल में छुट जाएगा एक दिन ऐसा आएगा एक एक दिन ऐसा आएगा, एक दिन ऐसा आएगा, एक दिन ऐसा आएगा.
Well, a very pleasant good afternoon to each and every one of you who locked into today's program. As we know, I was supposed to have an interview from Trinidad and Tobago, but we pushed back that for 1 hour so we can do a show in the memory of the beautiful Seeta Panday. You know, Seeta Panday is one of the best female singers out of Guyana, the voice of Lata Mangeshkar, and also been called the Nightingale of Guyana. Started singing at the age of 9 years old. We all know that she had a gifted voice and she had won many awards, recognition in our community. She has performed in hundreds of shows in North America and South America, as well as England and Holland. She embraced her Indian culture. Over the years, she has been offered several recordings. And you know what? She was very selective of this. She died today and she left behind her children. On behalf of the Ken Rampersaud Show, Island Zone Radio, we would like to extend to the family our deepest sympathy. I will say a beautiful poem in just a couple of minutes from now. You know, I wasn't sure I was ready for this show today because it's going to be very difficult. You know, when I heard Seeta Panday died, I have never met her personally. A couple of months ago, I saw her at a show and something was saying, go say hi to her. I didn't say anything to her. I said, let it go. And I'm sorry today I never get to meet her personally to have a little words with her. But she always looked smart and she looked like a lady. And so many people had so many good things to say about Seeta Panday. Guyana and the world has lost a beautiful soul. We pray that her journey to heaven, it will be a sweet one. And as she looks sweet, God bless her soul. And may he find a resting place for Seeta Panday. I'm going to read some of your comments here today. In the meantime, the DJ is going to get another song for me. I see. Also, I want to say, Chan Bridge, she lost her mother. The funeral was today in Georgia. So, my dear, on behalf of myself and all the viewers, we would like to extend to you our deepest sympathy. And it is sad. She was from Hague, Baghdad, on the west coast of Demerara. So, my dear Chan, I am sorry to hear that your mother died. You know, as we're talking, let me divert a little bit and talk a little bit about COVID-19. And I'm not saying anybody had COVID-19, but what I want to say as a nurse, as someone who had COVID-19 over the year, 1 year ago, I had COVID-19. I am so blessed. I am thankful that I am alive because guess what? I could have barely walk. I lost 20 pounds. And I'm saying these things and I keep repeating these things because COVID is something else. I say to people, COVID is like a thief. He come to you while I'm sharing my own story. While I was in the bed, lying down, he was attacking every organ for me. My heart, my kidney. When I look at and I see that my urine was dark red, I said, no, COVID cannot get me. That's when I get up and I says, I have to move. I cannot stay in bed. So guys, if you know someone with COVID, let them get out of that bed, even to sit somewhere and keep isolating yourself. And I know that a lot of us not following the guidelines. We must continue to wear our masks. We must wash our hands and practice social distancing. It is better we stay alive for a long time. Wear the gloves, wear the mask, wear everything that you can to protect yourself. I am sick and tired every day of hearing so many people dying from COVID-19 that I don't know what to say. Unfortunately, I cannot say why some people die or the reason. And I know there is people who don't believe in COVID-19. It is real. Thousands of people dying because of COVID-19. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I am talking, the show is about Miss Seeta Panday today. For the first hour, let's go and say hello. I see Michael Nalini Naidu, you had a special relationship with her. I saw some beautiful pictures with you and her. Isn't she always beautiful? She's the best. A very good evening to you. Danny Best. Danny, good evening. Baksh, good evening to you. Gautam Bola, good evening to you. He's watching all the way in New York. Yoshina Yasin, good evening to you. Radha Deuchen, good evening. Bibi Rahman, good evening. Shelley, good evening. Rowena Lal, a very good evening to you. My good friend from Canada, Ram Hiralal, a very good evening to you, sir. And I know this brings back so much memories for all of you. In fact, today when I heard the message, I thought of my own mother who I could not see when she died, and she died in Guyana. I had just came to the United States. So when I hear these kind of things, I have to really make up my mind hard. So I know a lot of you guys are struggling with the program today, and so I am struggling too. But I will get through this program today. Losing someone is not an easy thing. Also, I got a message. One of my cousins died in Venezuela. And one of the things that really bothered me, my cousin in Venezuela, probably by himself. He just have a wife, his kids not there, no family member. And you know what? So many people dying, and our family can get to see us when we die or get to be there with us. Ladies and gentlemen, let us be kinder to each other. We don't know where life is going to take us. We don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. We are here today, and tomorrow we may not be here. Live every day like it's our last day. Enjoy life, and let's stop judging each other and live our best life there is. Let's say hello to Sarju, Bibi, Rocky Sarju, Gautam Bola. Let's see, Ramkar, good evening. Let's see, Sati, good evening to you. Seeta Narain, good evening to you. Naz Ali, a very good evening to you. Sandra Danpal, good evening. Danny, good evening. Shelly Mahadev, good evening to you. To my good friend Radha Jaikaran Tripal, good evening. Debbie, good evening to you. Debbie Budram, good evening to you. Sandra Danpal, good evening to you. Indramati, good evening to you. Seeta Rajkumar, good evening to you. Lal Bachan, a very good evening to you. Babita Sanichar, good evening to you. Sunita Narayan, good evening. Kamini Rampat, good evening to you. Island Zone Radio is bringing a special program for you guys today. Tara Singh. Let's go for another song. When I come back, I'm going to say a poem on her behalf, a very special poem that I like to say, and because she is such a special lady in our community. Again, Seeta Panday died today in New York. She's from Guyana. As we all know, the voice of Lata Mangeshkar and the singing nightingale of our beautiful Guyana. She is a lady, and I'm certainly sure that she have left behind, and I know she have left a legacy for all of us who she met in her lifetime. When I look at her pictures today, I saw she looked so beautiful in all her picture. What a beautiful lady. Let's go, DJ. You're watching the Ken Rampersaud Show on Island Zone Radio. Let's go.
पंछी रे तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, तेरा दर्द न जाने को। बाहर से तो खामोश रहे तू,
A beautiful garden now stands alone, missing the one who nurtured it. But now Seeta is gone, her flowers still bloom.
अपनी कहानी तेरी भी पंछी क्या जिंदगानी रे।
And the sun, it still shines, but the rain is like teardrops for the one left behind.
कह न सके तू अपनी कहानी तेरी भी पंछी क्या जिंदगानी रे। विधि ने
The weeds lay waiting to take the garden's beauty away, but the beautiful memories of its keeper are in our hearts to stay.
तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, तेरा दर्द न जाने को।
Oh, she loved every flower. And of course, she was a flower in his life. Even some that were weeds, so much love she planted each little seed. But just like her flowers, oh, she was part of God's plan. So when it is her time, he reached down his hands. God looked through the garden searching for simply the best. That's when he found Seeta Puram Panday. Oh, it's her time to rest. It was hard for those who love her to just let her go. But just like her flower, when God has a spot in his garden that needed a gentle soul, just wait. Just remember, if you wait, when God has a spot in his garden, he will meet you at the gate. Seeta Puram Panday was a beautiful soul, and it's her time to go and rest. On behalf of the Ken Rampersaud Show and Zone Radio, we would like to extend to the family our deepest sympathy. We pray that God bless her soul. And we pray that God bless all of us. This is one of her songs that she is singing. The voice of Panday, Super Panday, let's go. The voice of the beautiful nightingale of Guyana, Lata Mangeshkar, our Lata Mangeshkar. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That's the beautiful voice, the singing, the nightingale of Guyana, Miss Seeta Panday. And you know, as we all know, that she had the voice of Lata Mangeshkar, and unfortunately she passed away this morning or this afternoon sometime. And a sad thing to know that we all have to go one day, but to see a beautiful woman so still full of life and energy passed away, but God has a special plan for her. I want to say hello to Linda Love, Gita Rambaran, Seeta Rand, Bagmati Bagu, Seeta, Nita Jagdeo. How are you, my friend? Good to see you on. Seeta Sukraj watching all the way from Canada. Thank you very much. Kavita Dilchen, a very good afternoon to you. Kavita Chatagun, good evening. Asha Monilal, Mohanlal, good evening. Shirley Mizir, a good evening to you. Indramati Changur, thank you very much for watching. Lavi Sukraj, Asha, thank you. Kamini Rampant, good evening. And she's saying, so sad, my condolence to the entire family. May her beautiful soul rest in peace. Susan Kulsum, good evening to you. Geeta Rambaran, thank you very much for watching. Wahida Prasad, good evening. Shelly Mahdeo, thank you very much for watching. Ladies and gentlemen, Kayum Khan, thank you very much for your kind words, and thanks for watching, guys. Please continue to share. And as we are talking today, this show is in the memory of Seeta Panday, who passed away today. You know, since I was a little boy growing up back in Guyana, I would hear Seeta Panday sing. Her name is synonymous with all of us who grew up in Guyana and actually in New York too. So we want to say, extend to the family our deepest sympathy. Life is so unpredictable. When I heard that she passed away, I could not believe that she died, because she looked so vibrant and so full of life. And so, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we have to live life every day like it's our last. We don't know when our number is going to be called, and we always have to be ready for when our number is going to be called, okay? Like for those of you who haven't heard that Seeta Panday died today in New York, we know that she had the voice of Lata Mangeshkar, and she was the nightingale of Guyana. We also know that she was one of the best singers out of Guyana, and I'm sorry that I get to see her sing and perform in person, but I didn't get to go and say hello to her. And that's one of the things I'm so sorry today. When I heard her, I said, Lord, I went and see her perform, but I didn't go and say hello to her. I met so many singers a bit in the past couple of years. So again, ladies and gentlemen, be kinder to each other. We don't know what's going to happen. And one of the other things I want to say, you know, we are here today. We are not going to take anything with us when we die. It's just our name, whether it's good or bad, and we try to be kind and to be kind with each other and say the good things that we have lived for. And so I also learned today that you know, she used to do a lot of voluntary work for our community, for Guyanese community and elsewhere. So, you know, what a good soul. And it always bothers me to know all the good people are dying out. Our people are dying out. And like I said again, be very careful with COVID-19. I'm going to be playing another song. I think my DJ is ready. Again, we have another half an hour more to go on the show. And after that, I'll be talking to the reigning queen of Trinidad and Tobago, the Chutney and Soca queen. We were supposed to start talking to her about 5 o'clock, but we pushed it back a little bit. She had an emergency back in Guyana too. So after we finish this show, we'll jump right on back with another show, the interview in Trinidad and Tobago. So please make sure go to our page and send some good messages to her children. Let them know what Seeta Panday meant to you, okay? I think our DJ is ready for the next song. That's right, this world is not my home.
This world is not my home. I'm just a passing through. My treasures are laid up somewhere beyond the blue. The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, then Lord, what will I do? do. The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. I have a loving mother just over in glory land, and I don't expect to stop until I shake her hand. She's waiting now for me in heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, then Lord, what will I do? The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Just over in glory land we'll live eternally. The saints on every hand are shouting victory. Their songs of sweetest praise drift back from heaven's shore, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, then Lord, what will I do? The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore.
That's right, that's right. You know, as I'm listening to this song, and I always listen to this song, my dad in Guyana used to listen to this song, and if we all can live with this song as a team, to know that this world is not my home, I'm just a passing through, I think we are going to live a better life, and we'll treat each other differently. We'll be kinder, we'll be non-judgmental, and we'll have a good life. A lot of times we live this life like when we are going to be here forever and ever. But I can tell you, as a nurse who have been practicing for over 30 years, I've seen so many patients die around me. I've seen so many patients die and didn't take anything with them. I've been to many funerals and I've seen that nobody takes anything with them. All we take with us is our good name and our bad name. So let's be kinder to our parents, to our children, to our brother and sister. And a lot of times we have to forgive. I know that we all sometimes irritate each other. We all are not perfect, and a lot of times we do things to either that offend each other. But I'm going to tell you, one of the things that you can do is to forgiveness. It's such a hard thing to do, and yet it could be an easy thing to do. I'm trying my very best to be as forgiving I can be, but not to tolerate no foolishness. Again, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Ken Rampersaud show here on Island Zone Radio. We are doing this show in the memory of Seeta Panday, the singing nightingale out of Guyana, who died today here in New York. We pray that her journey be a safe one and be a pleasant one. We pray that her children, that God will bless them and will comfort them, and God will see them not stressing so much. And I know having your mother who died, it's not an easy thing. I remember, like I've said many times, I came to the U.S. in 1990 illegally. I sometimes don't want to say it. And in 1991, Mom died with an aneurysm in her brain, and I could not go to the funeral. So today, when I heard Seeta Panday died, like so many other people, when I heard they're dying or they're dead, it just reminds me and take me back to 30 years ago when my mom died. And so I haven't had any closure when my mom died. And so sometimes today, as I was in the bathroom, I say to myself, wow, it is important that we have closure when our family member die. I know, especially at this time of the year, when COVID is taking so many of our loved ones, he's snatching us, our family, our loved one, and have no mercy, continues to wreak havoc in our community. I want to ask you guys to Be there for each other. You can call the children, give them your love and your support. Let them know that you love her and that you're supporting them in this difficult time. Again, you're watching the Ken Rampersaud Show here on Island Zone Radio. My DJ is going to be ready in just a minute to play one of Seeta Panday Bhajan. Okay? As we all know that Seeta Panday is out of Guyana, one of the brightest stars that ever came out of Guyana to New York, and she has sung in so many shows here in New York. We love to hear her sing. I think my DJ is ready. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen.
माता रानी का ध्यान धरिए, माता रानी का ध्यान धरिए, काम जब भी कोई करिए। माता रानी का ध्यान धरिए, माता लक्ष्मी का ध्यान धरिए, काम जब भी कोई करिए।
Such a beautiful voice of Seeta Panday.
सफलता मिलेगी। सच्चे दिल से प्रणाम करिए, सच्चे दिल से प्रणाम करिए, काम जब भी कोई करिए। माता लक्ष्मी का ध्यान धरिए, काम जब भी कोई करिए।
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the Ken Rampersaud show here on Island Zone Radio. Today is a very sad day here in New York and around Guyana. People in Trinidad who have known the beautiful Seeta Panday. I'm going to leave her on the screen because I want to say this poem back again the way I normally would say it, and pay attention. It says, a beautiful garden now stands alone, missing the one who nurtured it. But now Seeta is gone. Her flowers still bloom, and the sun, it still shines. But the rain is like teardrops for the one left behind. The weeds lay waiting to take the garden's beauty away. But the beautiful memories of Seeta Panday and its keeper in our hearts to stay. She loved every flower, even some that were weeds. So much love Seeta had, she would plant with each little seed. But just like her flowers, she was part of God's plan. So when it's her time, he reached down his hands. God looked through the garden and found the best. That when he found Seeta, it was her time to rest. It's hard for those who love her just to let go of Seeta, but God has a spot in his beautiful garden that needed a gentle soul. So when you start missing Seeta, remember, if you just wait, when God has a spot in his garden, she will meet you at the gate. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a beautiful poem, and it just suits her so well that she is a beautiful woman, a beautiful soul, and I know that she is in God's garden, a beautiful garden. She's going to be singing with the angels with her beautiful voice that she has, a beautiful voice out of Guyana. I want to say hello to Chris Lloyd, Sahodra Rampersaud, Kenneth Kerr. He said, only time I met her in person was at a lounge in Rockaway and 122nd Street at a show. Yes. Let's see who else we have. Arlene, a very good evening to you. Ram Carr, good evening. Mandy, good evening to you. Krishna Prasad, a very good evening to you. Baby Hack, thank you very much. I know you always probably see her because you're always going and supporting these things. My beautiful friend Hassan Yusuf, thank you very much. Kali Ali, thank you. Sahodra Rambalal, a very good evening to you. My good friend in Canada, Mary Ann Lou Ramdani, a very good evening to you. Shelly Mahadev, a very good evening to you. Devi Suklal, good evening. Deo Ramcharan, Ramkar, also Deo Moti, thank you very much for your love and your support. I could never ask for a better friend than Deo Moti, who hails all the way from Florida, and his beautiful wife. Also, we have the beautiful Roxanne Walker Hamilton, always a supporter for the show. John Namat watching all the way from Suriname. My beautiful wife Geeta Rampersad, Krishna Prasad, Rudy Mohan. Mary Khan says, fly high with the angels. Yes, and she is flying high today. Sleep in peace, Seeta Panday. Devi Suklal says, Shanti Lalman, a very good evening to you. Thank you very much. Again, Kari, very good evening. Kari Ali, Molly Kudi, good evening to you. Shelley, good evening to you. And he says, Kenneth says, that's Kenneth Kerr says, that sweet voice will be missed. Absolutely. Anita Baksh, Dev Kumari Prasad, a good evening to you. And thanks to Ryan Jeffrey. I had a doubt there, should I do this now or wait a little later? So he says, you know what, do this now. Let's get it over with. So always thank you very much for your guidance too. Ryan, Shelley Bacchus, a very good evening to you. She says, sleep in peace, Seeta Poo and Panday. Let's see, Lakshmi, good evening to you. Geeta Babulal, thank you very much for watching the show. Our good friend Veronica Singh, watching all the way from Canada. My very good friend Shanti Jeffers, thank you very much for watching. Dutram, very good evening to you. Let's see, Nazir Shah, good evening to you. Mary Khan, again, good evening. Sheila the Best is praying. And absolutely, Akira Ibrahimi, very good evening to you. And we all need to keep each other in our prayer. Astoro, very good evening to you. Mohani Khan, it is so true. We need to pray for each other. Now is the time to pray for each other. We can't get through this thing by ourselves. We need each other to pray for each other, that God will help us through this difficult time, this COVID time, especially here in the United States and around the world. As I said before, don't take COVID lightly. He is snatching us one by one. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Ken Rampersaud Show on Island Zone Radio. Please continue to share the program and with your friends. Let's go, DJ, with another song. You're watching the Ken Rampersaud Show here on Island Zone Radio. Little difficulty there, but we'll get the song right back again. We want to treat each other nicely and go. Very good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen, who's watching the Ken Rampersaud Show. Yes, Sharifan, I'm glad to see that you're on. She said, sweet melodious voice of our beloved Nightingale of Seeta, Puran Panday. And one thing I like about Sharifan Sherry, who just locked on, she is a singer too. I know sometimes I don't get to listen to her singing, but I always go back and listen sometimes. But she is another person who's a kind soul, always good, and I'm so glad that you tune in. And we are dedicating this show today to Seeta Panday, as you said, a beautiful soul, and she has such a melodious voice. What a big loss for our community. I hope that someday, next week or sometime this week, after the dust is settled, I would love to have some of our singers like Sharfan and other singers can come in studio and we can sit down and have a good conversation with some coffee or tea and talk about who Seeta Panday really is, as we know that she passed away today. And I worked all day today. I came home like 3:30 minutes before, and I scrambled to get something of her songs. So it was really that plan. But I want to say thank you so much for so many of you who was watching the show here today. I'm not sure if DJ is ready. In just a minute, he's going to play another song. Radha Totaram, good evening. Kim Wilson, good evening. Sheila Mangar, watching all the way from Suriname. Rampersaud, good evening. Seeta Narayan, good evening to you. Biswa, thank you very much. Bobby Jailal, good evening. Geeta Danraj, good evening. My good friend Nimati Dat, watching all the way from Canada. And Radha Totaram says, fly high, Seeta Panday, rest in peace. Absolutely, it's sad, and it's like I said, just reach out to the family. You probably don't have to call, but go on her page and write something nice, something that the children would read and would say, wow, that's my mother who passed away. We pray here on the Ken Rampersaud show, all our viewers, we pray that God would bless her soul and take her to heaven. All right, DJ, are you ready? Listening to Seeta Panday, the Nightingale of Guyana. and gentlemen, that's the beautiful voice of Seeta Panday, who passed away today here in New York. The singing Nightingale out of Guyana. As we know, she had that beautiful voice that, like Lata Mangeshkar. I'm so proud of her. We pray that God bless her soul, that she would reach heaven and have a safe passage. So, like I said, we were going to be on for 1 hour. The time is now 5 minutes to 6. So, in just a few minutes, I'm going to cut off soon, and I'll be heading to Trinidad. And I'll be talking to Nisha Rampersaud, as we know that she won the Chutney Soca Award Monarch last weekend in Trinidad. So I'll be interviewing her in about 10 minutes or so. So guys, I'll be back on the radio in about 10 minutes again. So please tune in, come on back with me, and I'll ask her all the good questions where she's sing about the fireman, and let's see who have the fire and see if we can get the fireman to talk to. So in just in about 5-10 minutes, I'll be talking to Nisha Rampersaud out of Trinidad and Tobago. Again, you're watching the Ken Rampersaud Show here on Island Zone Radio. I'm sure we are not done. We'll come back another day and talk about the beautiful Seeta Panday. Let's go, DJ.